Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody has a good start to their day. This is Memorial Day weekend, and I am going to be making some donuts. And I thought I would take those of you who've not seen me do that before along for the ride so you can see how I make my donuts. And just something to mark the occasion. We always have something sweet, usually on a long weekend like this. Monday is the recognized Memorial Day, and I have ribs thawing in the sink right now. But anyway, I'm going to push you back and start making some donuts. And I will leave you the link to my other donut recipe that you'll be able to find in the description there. Okay, we're going to start off with 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and I already sifted through all this. Okay, and then we're gonna have I have some spices in here, and this is a teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and I think it's a couple. Let me check my recipe. It is 2 teaspoons of baking powder, and that goes in. Okay. And then I'm going to incorporate this together. So I'm going to start, I'll bring you forward so you can see my bowl. I'm going to stir this together. Okay. And now I'm going to put in 2/3 cup of milk. Okay. And then we're going to put in a couple of beaten eggs, and I will go get a fork to beat them. Hang on one second. Okay. Now I did have these 2 eggs out at room temperature, and I'm just kind of roughly beating them. I'll make a spot in the middle for them. I always do that. Make like a little well. I guess because I'm used to making like pasta and stuff like that. Okay. Whoops. All right, let me put that aside. And I am going to be putting in a 1/4 cup of melted butter. I'm using butter. And I wonder what made me say margarine. I haven't used that in years and years. I don't know what made me say that. Anyway, I might have been reading about it or something. Anyway, you know that's half a stick is a 1/4 cup. Could be when I made this as a little girl. That's when I was raised on margarine. That could be where that came from. It's funny how your past will sneak up and get you when you least expect it. How the brain works. Okay, and I mixed in the eggs really good into my dough before putting that melted butter in, because you know you don't want your eggs to cook, like turn white and all that, you know what I mean? Anyway, with the heat from the butter. Okay, and then we're going to put in 2/3 cup of sugar. Now keep in mind, I'm doing just like the vanilla cinnamon recipe, but if you wanted chocolate cake kind of donuts, you would have to increase your sugar by a 1/4 cup, and then you'd have to reduce your flour by 3/4 cup because you're adding 3/4 cup of cocoa. Just keep that in mind if you wanted to do actual chocolate donuts. I will do regular donuts with a chocolate glaze or something on top. I'd rather do that than using up all my cocoa on one recipe, because we use it for different things, you know, throughout the week. The kids make smoothies, they make hot cocoa. We use a lot of unsweetened cocoa in a lot of recipes, and I didn't want to use 3/4 cup just for this. So you do regular donuts, and then you can shake them in cinnamon sugar, you can shake them in icing sugar for powdered donuts. You can do many things with a base recipe. But I just wanted you to keep that in mind, that you can use cocoa. You just have to reduce your flour and add more sugar because of the bitterness of the cocoa. And I certainly don't want to add more sugar. Okay, so at this time we're going to go ahead and put in our vanilla. And I'm going to use a teaspoon. There we go. I ran out of the really, really good vanilla that I had, so I'm just using, the bargain brand. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do in this economy. You know that. So let me go down my list. We have the 3 cups of flour, the 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 2/3 cup of milk, a 1/4 cup of melted butter, 2 eggs, 2/3 cup of sugar, a teaspoon of vanilla. And I do have regular vegetable oil for frying, but you can use shortening if that's what you have. And yeah. Basically, that's it. And then it's what you shake them in is what it's going to be, But remember, there's cinnamon and there's vanilla in here. So they're going to be flavorful even if you wanted to keep them plain. And, of course, that keeps the calories down, too, as well. Not that you're looking to save calories eating donuts, But, I mean, if you had a special cookout like Memorial Day or something, or Christmas or something that you were doing this for, you'd be able to judge how you want to handle it. So I'm going to go ahead and come in here with my fork to get all this together. And I'll keep on working on this. I have dough hooks. I just don't always like to take them out and clean them. So I will work on getting this into a great big ball of dough.
Yes, but sir, our operatives in the NCR and command are convinced that they're on the verge of launching anyways.
Why would they?
Because they're losing the war, and they know it.
We're fighting in the outer planets is different than bringing it to our own doorstep.
Ours isn't stupid.
Or crazy. They could be deliberately pushing us to the peace table. But that's not what's happening.
If this doesn't work, millions will die. You are dying right now, our people. When we began this war, we had a 5-to-1 advantage in ships. Now it's down to 3-to-1. Every minute this war goes on costs us more lives. Every loss that we inflict on Mars pushes them closer to Earth.
No one's pleased. That's right. That's it all. Best anybody report.
When's the human person? Same. Seems like the type could have been very cooperative. Never really did this. What is up, brother? What's his name? Jewel Pierre Mao's doing to execute it.
Maybe this war wasn't inevitable. Maybe there was no way to avoid it. But you want it to be holy, and it's not. The best you can hope for is that it's justified.
And Mars makes the choice between us or them.
This plain one is for my father, John, who used to like to put the donuts in his pockets on the way out the back door when my grandmother was cooking them when he was a little boy. They were plain, so he couldn't get no sugar and icing in his pockets. And he would load up his pockets as she was making the donuts and go out the back door. So this one is for you, Dad. I love you. I hope you give my donut recipe a try. The link to the description where the recipe is will be in the description of this video. I hope everybody has a beautiful and safe Memorial Day weekend.